Welcome to Learning English with Captain Binoy Varakil, Assistant Professor, Department of English, St. Joseph's College, Devagiri, Kozhikode. We learn form, class, and function words. And in the previous lectures, we have finished form, class, and some of the important topics from function words. Now we move forward to, of course, the discussion of the new area. Previous day, we discussed the function words, especially the second category of the function words. Under the function words, we have articles, auxiliaries, demonstratives, quantifiers, prepositions, pronouns, conjunctions, and interjunctions. And of that, we are discussing the auxiliaries. And among the auxiliaries, we have different types of auxiliaries, the primary auxiliaries, modal auxiliaries, and semi-auxiliaries. And among the three, we are discussing the primary auxiliaries. And we finished the use of the forms of be and have as lexical or main verbs. Today, we are discussing the use of do, the third primary auxiliary, as lexical verb or main verb. And we have to understand the fact that do, the lexical verb, or do the auxiliary, is used as lexical verb. And it has, of course, the finite forms. And the finite forms of do the auxiliary are do, does, and did. So do the auxiliary has three finite forms: do, does, did. We say, I do know English. I do know English. I do not know English. He does know Spanish. He does know Spanish. He does have a good house. He does not know Latin. All right. Similarly, we say, he did come here. He did come here. So, do the auxiliary has the finite forms of do, does, did. And similarly, do the auxiliary has non-finite forms. Non-finite forms are forms which are not affected by the subject in number or tense. And the non-finite forms of do are to do, doing, and done. All right. Today we are learning these three important do, does, did, the finite forms of do, and to do, doing, done, the non-finite forms. So let us understand the fact that of the auxiliaries, the third auxiliary, that is of course primary auxiliary, do, and its forms have the finite forms as well as the non-finite forms. Form which agrees with the subject in number and tense is in fact known as the finite form, and the form that is not affected by the number and tense are known as the non-finite forms. And let us just look at do as the finite. Okay, so we will just look at some examples in which do is used as the finite verb, or in fact used as the main verb, or of course which is used as the lexical verb. All these are same. Okay, so the main verb and the lexical verb are verbs that agree with the subject in number and tense. And we say that I do my duty. I do my duty. I do my duty. All right. So here you can see I do my duty. I do my duty. We do our duty. I do my duty. I do my work. I do not do my work. No, that's not good, right? I must do my duty, right? I do my duty. We do our duty. We do our duty. All right. You do your duty. You do your duty. They do their duty. All right. So in all this, we can see the subject I is agreeing with do. I is first person singular, and we say I do my duty. I do my homework. I do go to the church. I do go to the temple. I do go to the mosque. I do read the novel that is published recently. I do. All right. Similarly, we say he does. He does. All right. Because it is his and it is of course present tense. We say he does. He does his work. All right. He does his work. She does her work. It does its work. So I do my duty. He does his work. And she does her work. It does its work. All right. So in all this, we can see that it is do as a main verb, does as a main verb. And now we just come to, of course, the third form. First is, of course, do. Second is does. And the third form is did. That is, of course, the auxiliary verb do as finite in sentences. All right, we say I do my work, he does his work, and we also say we did our duty. All right, that is of course the past. We did our duty. We did our duty. They did their duty. We did our duty. They did their duty. He did his duty. I did my work. She did her work. She did not do her work. She did not do her work. Okay, so in all these sentences, we understand that we have used different forms, especially different finite forms of the primary auxiliary, that is, of course, do. And we know that do, the primary auxiliary, has three finite forms. They are do, does, did. I do my duty. She does her duty. Raju does his duty. They did their duties. Okay, and other than next we move on to, of course, the non-finite forms of do, the non-finite forms, right? We understand that the auxiliary has again non-finite forms, and the non-finite forms are to do, number one, to do. Number two is doing, to do, doing, and number three, done. So these three are the non-finite forms of the primary auxiliary. Do, doing. Doing is, of course, one of the forms. Done is yet another one. To do is another one. So we say that he likes to do the work. He likes to do the work. He likes to do the work. He likes to do. Okay, he likes to do the work. Similarly, she likes to swim in the pool. She likes to, okay, similarly we say she likes to do the work. She likes to do the work. Okay, similarly, they like to do the work. They like to do some cooking, right? To do some cooking, right? Similarly, we say he is fond of doing things, right? He is fond of doing things. They are fond of doing things. Okay, doing your duty is your obligation. Doing your duty is your obligation. All right. Similarly, we can say that the next non-finite form of do is done, and we say that he had done his work. He had done his work. he had done his work. I have done my work. Alex has done his work. Okay, so we understand that the primary auxiliary do has, of course, the use of a main verb. It is used as main verb. Okay, it is used as a lexical verb, and it has, of course, it can be used as a main verb. Similarly, it has, of course, three forms: do, does, and did, and it is used right. With the pronoun, first person pronoun I do my work. Second person, it is of course he does his work. And third person, of course, it is right, they do their work, right? So we understand that. Once again, do the auxiliary has three finite forms and three non-finite forms. The finite forms are do, does, and did, and the non-finite forms are to do, doing, done. And this is what we have to understand in detail. Next class, we will be moving forward to the use of all these primary auxiliaries, be and its forms, have and its forms, and do and its forms as, of course, auxiliary verbs. So far we discussed the uses as main verbs or lexical verbs. Afterwards, we'll be looking at the use of these auxiliaries as auxiliary verbs. Thank you very much for listening. May God bless you.